Yo, what's up, Fitness Warriors? Today I'm coming at you with another movement video. Today I'm going to tell you guys about the overhead press. Now this is a big one because I personally feel, and with what I've dealt with in the past, that most people don't have the anatomical ergonomical structure to actually perform the exercise correctly. Why? Because a lot of us maybe have mobility issues stemming from our day-to-day situation. Maybe we just don't understand the exercise correctly. Who knows? But what we're doing is we're lifting from what I call a default pattern. And when we lift from a default pattern, it's letting us get it up because of our autonomic nervous system. Our body's gonna get it up because it has to, but it's gonna do it in such a way that's detrimental to your actual longevity in lifting, right? So it's not gonna be good. Plus, you're gonna bleed power, you're gonna bleed strength, and you're going to lose tension. So if you lose tension, bodybuilding, is all about getting that tension. Power, if you're training for power or strength, it's all about efficiency and movement. When you break this down, you're then down-regulating your ability to perform at the exercise. So what I like to say to most guys is, a lot of the time it's not as a result of getting stronger by adding weight to the bar or some nifty program per se. A lot of the time it's actually optimizing your movement pattern. When you start to optimize your movement pattern, you get as efficient as possible. When you get as efficient as possible, everything comes together. It's like the 1-inch punch. They first teach it from there. Then they shorten it. Then they shorten it because they're still generating that same tension from the ground through the body, that kinetic energy. Does that make sense? So they're starting to train efficiency, and we know this to be true because what we'll do is we'll train someone for 6 weeks, 6 months even. And that person mightn't hypertrophy their muscle at all. They might just get more efficient at moving in that pattern. There's been studies that have done that are amazing. There's been some studies where people watch people work out and get stronger because they create those neurological pathways or those patterns, those motor patterns. Just from watching it, those mirror motor patterns start to develop. So you develop and you actually get stronger as a response of watching someone. So it's all about movement efficiency, not necessarily getting bigger. So the more efficient you get, the bigger you'll get anyway, because the stronger and the more weight you can lift. So I don't deem myself as, necessarily equipped for this lift because I am quite tight through the thoracic, so I'm more in this flex position as a result of sitting. So then that tends to make me hyperextend through here. So the key issue here is what I want you guys to worry about is I want you to worry about your spinal organization. So getting your butt tight, locking your belly in tight. From there, that thoracic extension. So from about here up, I want you to think about pulling that position into extension. So you're lifting up out of that chronically flexed kyphotic position. So you're lifting up, but not at the expense of that lower back. Does that make sense? So I don't want you to extend through the lower back as a way of, I'm extended. No, because now you're putting that local extension right through here, causing all that energy coming down and breaking right through here. So you can imagine if I'm extended like that and someone dropped weight on me, I'd be snapped in half. Where would I cop it? Right there. Where do most disc problems happen? L1, L5. Oh, that's weird. Right there. So what I want you to do is think about organization so you can transition that energy all the way down. The next thing I want you to think about with the press, keeping the head back, is where the elbows are situated. If the elbows are outside, you see that shoulder start to roll in like this. You see that shoulder start to roll in. That's that internal rotating position. Now you're pressing against yourself. You can see that versus in this position. So any press that should be done in external rotation. It shouldn't be done in that internal rotation where you're pushing up against yourself, causing all sorts of impingements, supraspinatus problems, all that sort of stuff arises from that style of pressing. So we've talked about it before in other movies. There's a very strong symbiotic relationship between the shoulder and the grip. If I can get that grip right, without that lateral deviation or that wrong wrist position, which translates into that, if I can get that grip right, trigger a response all down here to turn that muscle and everything tighten in place, efficiency, everything coming together and working together. If I can get that, then I can start to think about externally rotating as I press. Dragging, screwing in and dragging that lat out, but not at the expense of unlocking my spine, causing a lot of shear and tension to fall down through my lumbar. So that's the key ideology behind it. The grip, the shoulder, the bracing the position, the external rotation. So now what we'll do is we'll put it together for a few reps. So what I want you to do, I want you to think about taking the time to get the exercise. We know 98% of injuries happen as a result of poor setup. So what I want you to think about, get your setup right. So first things first, formalize your grip. Get a strong grip. You want that wrist crease parallel with the bar. If you're broken like that or like that, not such a good time because generally that transmits into that position. So if you're training just for the start, there is reasons why some people will be like that, granted, but for for the beginners and for people just trying to get maximal tension, I want you to think about that position, that straight line position there. Same as when you bench press. A little bit of break is okay. Excessive break is bone on bone. Think of it like this. If I punch something, if I risk breaking my wrist, then you're in a bad position. You're not allowing that energy to transition through. So the tension's not making its way up here. So from here, outside shoulder to start, pick it up, strong grip. From there, belly butt tight, lock in, torque that chin, set the shoulders in. Now watch the elbows stay under the wrist and not flare out under, not flare out in the internal rotation of the shoulder. So from here, and what you want to see is you want to see that externally rotated position pushing up. What I don't want to see is packing the shoulders. You can start to cause nerve irritation in what's called the brachial plexus. So there's nerves that come out from the cervical spine. If you start to compress like this, you can start to irritate them. So I want you to think about staying in a little bit of protraction. If you can't lock the elbows, then it generally means your shoulders are in a nasty position. So you're in that internally rotated position again. So from there, back down. As you come down, elbows track under the grip, and I want you to think about pulling the bar down. From there, press, back down, press, back down. And there you have it, there's some of the essentials, guys. So think about your organisation, keeping your spine aligned, keeping your thoracic extended, keeping your shoulders in the externally rotated position, not the internally rotated position. Elbows under the bar, wrist flatter than not, grip tight as possible, and full extension in that protracted position, not in that, sorry, in that elevated position. And that's it, guys, that's it for today. I'll catch you guys next time. Give me some emails, let me know what you think. If you've got any questions, let me know. Happy to answer them. I'll see you next time, guys.